What secrets can a man hide in his very last moments? Final hours exposed. Dr. Yunhao has come forward with a chilling revelation, the haunting clue Menglong desperately tried to leave behind before his death. Was it a warning, a hidden message, or the key to unlocking the truth behind his tragic end? Let's join Red Carpet Reveal to uncover this shocking mystery right now. What secrets can a man hide in his very last moments? The tragic death of Menglong left fans shattered, the entertainment world in shock, and the nation searching for answers. Yet just when the storm seemed to settle into grief, a chilling revelation surfaced, one that has reignited the fire of speculation, outrage, and sorrow. Dr. Yunhao, the physician present in those final hospital hours, has come forward to unveil what he describes as a haunting clue. A message Menglong desperately tried to leave behind before slipping away forever. This revelation has shaken the world all over again. A warning, a cry for help, or the final attempt of a man desperate to expose the truth behind his tragedy? To understand the weight of this moment, one must revisit the final hours that have now become the most scrutinized in recent memory. The hospital was cloaked in silence that night, its hallways filled with a mix of hushed voices and restless footsteps. Fans gathered outside, holding candles and photos, praying for a miracle. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy with despair, as family and close friends stood powerless, watching the man they loved fade away. For Menglong, the hours between life and death were not merely medical, they were moments filled with tension, whispers, and, according to Dr. Yunhao, a desperate attempt to communicate one last truth. Dr. Yunhao was not just any physician, he was a respected figure with years of credibility, known for his discretion and professionalism. For months, he kept silent, honoring the hospital's vow of privacy and the family's need for space. But the weight of what he witnessed began to gnaw at him. He later admitted that he could no longer bear to watch false narratives spread, while Menglong's final effort to leave behind a message remained hidden from the public. He wanted us to know, Dr. Yunhao said gravely. It was clear that he was trying to tell us something. And now, the world must hear it. According to Dr. Yunhao, Menglong, despite his weakening condition, made repeated attempts to write something on a notepad provided at his bedside. His hand trembled, his breathing shallow, yet he insisted, refusing to let go until the very last moment. What he left behind was not a full sentence, nor a clear explanation, but a fragmented clue that has haunted everyone who has seen it since. A word, partially scrawled, a symbol, with unsteady strokes, a gesture towards something greater than himself. Dr. Yunhao described it as both heartbreaking and terrifying. For in those shaky lines lay the possibility of truth, yet also the inevitability of more questions. The clue itself has not been fully disclosed to the public, a choice made out of respect for the family, but Dr. Yunhao's description was enough to ignite a storm. Some reports claim it resembled a name, though incomplete. Others suggest it was a phrase, a warning written in cryptic shorthand. There were whispers that it was not written at all but drawn, a symbol repeated twice, as if he feared it would be erased if not made unmistakable. Whatever it was enough to convince Dr. Yunhao that Menglong's death was not the simple tragedy some wanted it to appear. The reaction to the doctor's revelation was instant and overwhelming. Fans, already raw with grief, burst into tears anew at the thought of their idol struggling to leave them a message from the brink of death. Candlelight vigils swelled in number, with mourners now holding not just photos of Menglong, but signs demanding, "What was the clue?" on social media. Hashtags like Final Clue, Menglong Truth, and Yunhao Reveals trended globally. Every corner of the internet filled with theories, speculations, and emotional outpourings. For Menglong's family, the revelation was like reopening a wound that had only just begun to scar. His mother, who had already become a symbol of strength in her fight for truth, down in tears upon hearing the news, but quickly turned her grief into resolve. "If my son left a message, then I will spend the rest of my life making sure the world understands it," she declared at a press conference. Her words reignited fury across the nation, fueling the belief that Menglong's death had been far from natural. Media outlets dissected every possible angle. Some presented the clue as undeniable evidence of foul play, a smoking gun that proved Menglong had been silenced. Others cautioned that desperation and medical distress could have distorted his final actions. leaving behind ambiguity rather than clarity. Yet even skeptics could not deny the emotional gravity of a man fighting with his last breath to communicate something to the world. Within hours, amateur sleuths online began piecing together possibilities. Was the clue a name? If so, rumors of strained relationships with fellow actors resurfaced, as did whispers of financial disputes and unspoken rivalries. Instead, a phrase, something cryptic like "they or help," fans scoured old interviews, searching for hints that might align with the fragment described by Dr. Yunhao. Some suggested the clue tied back to Menglong's recent projects, where he had spoken cryptically about truth and secrets. Others took a darker turn, believing it pointed to a conspiracy much larger than anyone had dared imagine. The entertainment industry trembled under the weight of the revelation. Executives and producers who had once sought to move on from the scandal suddenly found themselves thrust back into the spotlight. Actors who had been close to Menglong were forced to issue statements, some in solidarity, others in defense. A shadow of suspicion loomed over everyone. Whispers of cover-ups grew louder with every passing day. Fans, however, the revelation was deeply personal. They shared stories of how Menglong had inspired them, how his dramas had brought them comfort, how his music had touched their lives. The thought that he had spent his final hours trying to communicate with them left them both devastated and galvanized. "He trusted us with his last words," fan wrote in a viral post. "We cannot fail him now." That sentiment spread like wildfire, uniting millions across the world in a collective vow to uncover the truth. The hospital itself became a site of pilgrimage. Fans traveled from across the country to stand outside its walls, laying flowers and notes addressed to Menglong, others to Dr. Yunhao, thanking him for his courage. The doctor himself faced scrutiny, some praising him as a hero, others accusing him of exploiting grief. But through it all, he remained steady, repeating only that he felt morally obligated to share what he had witnessed. As draws to a close, the world is left reeling. Menglong's final hours, once thought to be silent, now speak with a voice louder than ever. The haunting clue revealed by Dr. Yunhao has cracked open the surface of a tragedy, exposing depths of mystery and pain that may never be fully understood. Yet one thing is clear, the story is far from over. What did Menglong try to tell us? Who, or what, was he pointing to in his final desperate act? And will the world ever be ready to face the truth he died trying to reveal? The haunting clue left behind in Menglong's final hours did more than stir grief. It tore open a wound in the nation's heart that has yet to close. As Dr. Yunhao's revelation spread, the story transformed from tragedy into mystery, from loss into a fight for truth. The clue, fragmented yet powerful, became the center of countless theories, debates, investigations. What had begun as a heartbreaking farewell was now a puzzle that millions felt compelled to solve. Theories exploded overnight. Some fans insisted that the clue was a name, final attempt to expose the person responsible for his fate. They searched through every letter of Menglong's scrawled message, comparing it to names of colleagues, rivals, and industry executives. Others argued that the symbol described by Dr. Yunhao was not personal at all but political, a sign pointing to corruption or exploitation within the entertainment world. Still others believed the clue was not meant for the public but for his family, a private message meant to comfort them even as he slipped away. Media outlets seized the frenzy, publishing exposés that claimed to reveal more details of the mysterious note. One report insisted the writing resembled the first character of a well-known celebrity's name, sparking a firestorm of denial and backlash. Or claimed it was a shorthand word in English, perhaps help or stop. Each new theory drew as much criticism as it did support. Yet the speculation only grew, pulling more and more people into the storm. The entertainment industry stood at the center of the chaos. Producers canceled events, fearful of being connected to the scandal. Agencies issued defensive statements, some condemning the media for sensationalizing a family's grief, others attempting to show solidarity by promising cooperation with investigators. Behind the polished statements, fear reigned. Everyone who had worked with Menglong became a subject of whispered suspicion. Old rivalries resurfaced in the press. Minor disputes, once irrelevant, were now painted as potential motives. Careers that had nothing to do with the tragedy began to crumble under the weight of rumor. For Menglong's family, clue became both burden and beacon. His mother, already a symbol of resilience, addressed the nation again. Her voice, trembling but resolute, captured the rawness of her grief. If my son left a clue, it was not meant to confuse us, it was meant to save us. Not rest until we understand what he wanted us to know. Words reignited the fury of fans who saw her as the embodiment of truth against a machinery of silence. Within days, vigils turned into marches into protests. Outside government buildings, fans held banners that read, "Justice for Menglong," and "Reveal the clue." The frenzy soon crossed borders. National fan bases joined the movement, analyzing every scrap of information and sharing it across languages. In Japan, hashtags about You Menglong trended for days. In China, fan forums lit up with detailed investigations. In Southeast Asia, candlelight vigils mirrored those held in Seoul. Western media picked up the story, framing it as the K-drama star's real-life mystery. Documentaries began filming within weeks, promising to reveal the last truth of You Menglong. Podcasts dedicated entire seasons to dissecting the case. Their episodes filled with interviews, expert analyses, and emotional fan testimonies. Experts weighed in, though their words only deepened the confusion. Forensic handwriting analysts attempted to reconstruct the scrawled letters, producing contradictory interpretations. Psychologists debated whether the clue reflected lucidity or delirium in his final moments. Legal experts argued about whether such a clue could hold any evidentiary weight in court. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists flourished, claiming that a clue had already been covered up or altered to hide the true meaning. The more people searched, the less certain the truth seemed to become. Yet the emotional power of the clue remained undeniable. Fans described being haunted by the thought of You Menglong fighting through pain to leave behind a message for them. "I'd have given up, but he tried to tell us something." One fan wrote online, "That's the kind of person he was, always thinking of others." These words spread across social media, forcing the belief that the clue was not just a puzzle but a legacy. A reminder that You Menglong had refused to leave without one last act of courage. The mystery of the clue also forced society to confront the darker side of fame. Commentators began openly discussing the pressures faced by celebrities, the exhaustion, the isolation, the silent battles behind the glamour. If You Menglong's clue did point to wrongdoing, then his death was not just personal but systemic. Posed cracks in an industry that thrived on appearances while hiding its cruelties. The tragedy became a mirror, reflecting back the uncomfortable truth that audiences too often consume stars' lives without questioning the price they pay. As weeks turned into months, the clue remained unsolved. Its presence changed everything. Authorities reopened investigations, though their progress was slow and shrouded in secrecy. Each update was met with both hope and skepticism. Fans grew frustrated, believing the truth would never emerge. Others clung to faith, convinced that persistence would eventually unearth what You Menglong had died trying to reveal. The cultural impact, however, was irreversible. His drama surged in viewership. His songs replayed on streaming platforms. His face appeared on murals painted by grieving fans. Artists dedicated works to his memory, and activists adopted his name as a rallying cry for transparency and entertainment. You Menglong was no longer just a star, he had become a symbol. A reminder of the fragile humanity behind fame and the haunting power of one final act of resistance. In the end, the haunting clue remains as enigmatic as the man who left it. Was it a name, pointing to someone who betrayed him? Was it a phrase that others ignored? Or was it something simpler, an expression of love, meant to comfort rather than accuse? The ambiguity is both torment and inspiration, driving millions to keep searching, to keep demanding, keep his memory alive. Dr. Yunhao, who first revealed the clue, has since retreated from the spotlight. But his words continue to echo. He wanted us to know. Those words have become a mantra for fans and family alike. Now that You Menglong's voice will not be silenced, his mother's fight continues. His fans' devotion remains unbroken, and the mystery of his final hours refuses to fade into history. The truth may still be buried, hidden beneath layers of fear, power, and silence. But one thing is certain, You Menglong's final act has already changed the world. His haunting clue is more than a puzzle, it is a reminder that truth, no matter how elusive, has a way of surviving. His life was cut short. Voice endures, carried by the millions who refuse to let him be forgotten. As the candles burn, as the vigils grow, and as the world continues to ask what really happened, Menglong's final message remains a beacon. It whispers to us from the edge of life and death, urging us to keep searching, to keep questioning, and to never let silence win. And until the day comes when the clue is fully understood, his story will remain unfinished, a haunting reminder that even in his last breath, Yu Menglong was still fighting to be heard. Menglong's final hours were not silent, they carried a haunting clue, a desperate attempt to leave behind the truth he could not speak. What Dr. Yunhao revealed has changed everything, transforming grief into burning demand for justice. The world may still not know exactly what the clue means, but the message is clear: Yu Menglong's voice will never be silenced. His mother's strength, fans' devotion, and the mystery of his final act ensure that his story will continue to echo long after his passing. Thank you for joining us in uncovering this heartbreaking yet powerful chapter. Don't forget to like, share, leave your thoughts below. What do you think Yu Menglong was trying to tell us in his final moments? Stay with us, because Red Carpet Revealed will continue to search for the truth that others try to hide.